Good evening, everyone. My name is Kim Redford. I'm the Director of User Support Services at Longwood. Just want to make sure that everyone is able to hear me. If you can hear me, just give me a shout in the chat, if you don't mind. Yep, okay, awesome. I see that. Very good. Okay, great. Again, my name is Kim Redford. I'm the Director of User Support Services in Longwood's Information Technology Department. We're going to take the next little bit and talk about all things technology at Longwood. I'm hoping to make this a kind of a conversation at the end. So I'm going to kind of slide through these slides pretty quickly, and then there will be an opportunity for discussion and for questions and so forth at the end of the presentation. Here we go. All right, so first thing we want to talk about is user support services. User support services, better known on campus as the help desk, is available for students Monday through Friday. We are in support for students, faculty, and staff of all things technology. So software, networking, hardware, laptop support, account and password support. That's a pretty big one. And also our student technician program. So we're going to talk about the student support program just a little bit. This is super important information for our incoming freshmen. It's important for you to know that we do have students in support of your technology needs 6 days a week. So in addition to the help desk, we have student support technicians. Some of these technicians actually work at the help desk during our regular business hours, but they also have some evening hours and some weekend hours to make sure that they're available when you have a technology question or a technology issue. So student support hours are Monday through Thursday from 9 to 7, Friday from 9 to 5, Saturday no hours. That's the only day that those student technicians have off. And then Sunday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. We do have those student support technicians come in early in the fall. We take them through about a week or so of technology boot camp and make sure that they are prepped and ready to go with all of your technology needs and questions. I like to always do a little bit of a shameless plug for the RTA program or the SST program during this presentation. So we have already fully staffed our SST program for the fall. However, we are constantly looking for students who are interested in technology and interested in potentially becoming an SST. It seems as soon as we get them trained and everything is going perfectly, they want to go and graduate. So we are always looking for new talent. Just a quick word about requirements for being an SST. You must maintain at least a 2.0 GPA, good standing with the university, maintain technical abilities. We do training weekly with the SST program, and also just be friendly and excited about meeting other students. This is a great way to meet other students, meet the other students that live around you and others as well as they will be coming to the help desk and needing assistance. So great way to meet people at Longwood. All right, going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about email. So each student at the time of acceptance is assigned a Longwood email account. The Longwood email address is going to be your first name dot your last name at live.longwood.edu. If you happen to have a number appended there, no worries about that. That just means that a student before you had your first and last name. So you might have a 2 or a 3 or something posted there in addition to your last name. So it would be, for instance, Sally.Jones5 or 3, or however many students we've had with that name at live.longwood.edu. These are full service email accounts from Microsoft. They include shared calendars. Also very important, a download, a free download for the student of Office 365. So that is going to give you the main Office products, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. And that is going to be at no charge and available through your Longwood email account. You would simply log into your Longwood email, and up in the corner, you'll see the Office 365 icon, and then you have free downloads right from that website. Talk just a minute about the My Longwood portal. That web address is my.longwood.edu. The My Longwood web portal is going to be a place where you go out and do many important things. This is where you're going to add and drop classes, check your grades, degree audit, manage your student account, your financial aid information, your student health information. There's just a lot of information specific to the student available in the My Longwood portal. So that is something that you would want to be familiar with. You, if you already have, and you should already have, a LancerNet ID and password, you can go ahead and log in at my.longwood.edu and just start getting familiar with the My Longwood portal. It is definitely something that you will be using and be relying on during your time at Longwood. Okay, we're going to talk about the big one now, passwords. So I talked about your email and I talked about My Longwood and how are you going to get into these things? I've talked to several students today calling and saying, hey, I need to go out to My Longwood and check my financial aid and I can't get into my account. So we are available for password assistance at the help desk, but I'm going to give you tons of information about your passwords right now that hopefully will help you to navigate that and manage the passwords during your time at Longwood. So you're going to have two sets of credentials. You're going to have a LancerNet ID and password, and that ID and password is going to get you access into many things. So the LancerNet ID and password is going to get you access into, again, the My Longwood portal. Also, Canvas, that is going to be your course management tool that many of our faculty use to post notes and PowerPoints and to even give tests and those types of things. That's where they keep the syllabi and the assignment list and so forth for the class. So My Longwood, Canvas, LancerNet Wireless. We're going to talk a little bit more in just a bit about wireless connectivity on campus. Also, your LancerNet ID and password is going to grant you access into the computers in the academic computing labs, as well as the library information commons. So again, many things that you can access with that LancerNet ID and password. Your LancerNet ID is going to stay the same your entire time at Longwood unless you change your name. So the LancerNet ID is going to be your last name, followed by your first initial, in some cases, first and middle initial. And again, sometimes you're going to have a number appended there at the end. If you do have a number, again, it's just because someone already had used that last name and first and middle initial. So no worries if you have a number. It doesn't mean anything bad. It's just that you have a account that's already a ID that had already been used. So we're adding those numbers to specifically make it yours. So the LancerNet password and LancerNet ID is going to get you access into all of those systems that we talked about. The LancerNet password expires on a 120-day cycle. We are very careful with the LancerNet password. We do have complexity standards, has to be at least 15 characters long and contain 3 out of 4 of these elements: capital letter, lowercase letter, number, special character. And here's the kicker, it does expire every 120 days. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of security built around that password. We do that because this LancerNet ID and password will get you access into all of the specific information about you, your financial information, your financial aid information, your health information, your grades. This is not something that you want someone else looking at. We want to make sure that that password is strong. We want to make sure that your account and that all of your information is kept secure. Thus, the long length, the complexity standards, and the 120-day expiration. So the 120-day expiration is for all students, faculty, and staff. My password expires every 120 days as well. And what's going to happen is you're going to get an email to your Longwood Live Mail account 10 days prior to expiration. And it is going to say, hey, your LancerNet password expires in 10 days. You'll get another one 8 days, 6 days, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to send you notifications in that Longwood email account right down to the expiration date. So let's talk a minute about the live mail credentials. Your email account we had talked about is going to be your first name dot your last name at live.longwood.edu. You are going to set a live mail password. The first time that you log on, you will set a permanent live mail password, and the password for your email never expires. So again, the LancerNet password every 120 days, live mail never expires. You can change that password if you wish within the system, within your account settings, but that is not something that we would ever enforce, that you change that password for live mail. So you have your live mail credentials that are going to get you just into live mail. Your username, your email address, and your password for live mail are only going to allow access into your Longwood email. The LancerNet, again, is going to allow you access into many things. I know I'm being repetitive, but this is important. This is something you're really going to need to know when you get here, because getting into these systems is going to be critical to your success. So we want to make sure you get this information on the front end. We absolutely are here. The SSTs are here, and we can help you when you get here. It sounds more complicated than it is, I promise. It's not bad, and we will certainly make sure you have what you need. So the LancerNet password expiration, and I see some of you popping up in chat, and I will address those at the end. I really can't do the presentation and answer those at the same time, so I will go to those at the very end of the presentation. So I'll make sure and hit those questions. But we talked about LancerNet password expiration. We talked about getting an email letting you know that your password is getting ready to expire. So when you get that email in your live mail account, it's going to say your password expires in 10 days. And it's going to say, click here to manage your LancerNet password. And that's going to take you out to a system that we call Cipher. That actually stands for change your password or have it reset. And that is going to allow you to reset your password if it expires and you didn't go in and make the change before that expiration date, or if your account gets locked out, or if you've simply forgotten the password. And that does happen, especially over break sometimes. We have students come back and just had so much fun and relaxed so much they forgot their passwords while they were gone. So it's really important that you know about this password.longwood.edu website. This website is going to allow you to manage your own password. And so why is that super important? If you are at home in the evening and it's late and you say, oh, I have to take that, that test in Canvas, and you need to log on to Canvas and you have forgotten your password, or it's expired, or it's locked out, the help desk is closed. So we are open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., the help desk. And then those SSTs are available for you in the evening, but only until 7 o'clock. So if it's 9 o'clock and you just now are trying to take that assessment in Canvas and you don't know your password, you're going to be out of luck unless you know about this website. So again, password.longwood.edu, you can click on, you can go out to that website, click on, I've forgotten my password, and it will walk you through some prompts to allow you to get back into your accounts. This is very, very important. I do want to mention really quickly the Lancer dashboard. So all of these things I'm talking about, Cipher, My Longwood, Canvas, that's a lot, right? It's a lot to keep up with. So where do you go to get to access all of these systems? Each one of them does have a web address, a link, but instead of keeping up with all of that, if you can just remember that you can go out to the main Longwood page, just longwood.edu, up in the top right-hand corner, you're going to have an option for Lancer Dashboard. And if you click on Lancer Dashboard, that is going to give you all of the systems that you need access to. Canvas, My Longwood, the password management site. It's also going to give you links to resources like the help desk and the library and the registrar's office. So that's just going to be a lot of good information and good access for you through that Lancer dashboard. So you might want to keep that in mind as well. Okay, we're going to switch gears just a bit and talk about internet access. So we do partner with Shentel Services to provide network connectivity, both wireless and hardwired, in our residence halls and in Longwood managed apartments. So we know that we all have kind of gotten used to and spoiled by wireless connectivity We like to be, you know, at the house and in the kitchen and then on the couch and then back in the bedroom, and we're just kind of carrying our technology along with us. We like the wireless network. And the good news is you do have wireless connectivity in your residence hall room or in your managed apartment provided by Longwood and Chantel. But if you understand how wireless works, wireless is a shared resource. So if you are in a residence hall, then on the floor of your residence hall, there are going to be numerous wireless access points, but the strength and the speed of your connection is going to be somewhat dependent on how many people are connected to that wireless access point at one time and what they're doing. So if you have, excuse me, numerous computers connected to one access point and they're all streaming video or they're, you know, streaming Hulu or something like that, then you could have some instances of latency on the wireless network. So we want to make sure that before you even get here, you understand that in addition to your wireless connectivity, you also, per student, there is a hardwired network connection available in your room or your managed apartment. So if you have a roommate, you have one, your roommate has one. Same thing in the managed apartments, one for each student. So what we would want you to know is you need to bring a network cable. Yep, I'm talking about old school hardwired network cable that plugs into the laptop, and you can plug right directly into that network port on your wall. And that is going to give you guaranteed, dedicated network connectivity and speed. So you want to make sure that you have that. I am certainly not saying that that is the only way to connect. Wireless is probably going to work for you and be adequate most of the time. But if you have something big that you need to work on tonight and wireless connectivity is lagging for you, and that certainly could happen, we want to make sure that you have that cable and that you're aware that you do have that dedicated bandwidth through that hardwired connection. If you're not familiar with network cables, you can buy them at Walmart, you can buy them at Best Buy, anywhere you can buy technology, equipment or supplies. Again, Walmart, Target, any of those places in the electronic section, they're going to have a network cable. The network cable looks just like a telephone cable, except the ends are a little larger. Those ends are RJ45 to RJ45. We also sell network cables at our bookstore. So in town, there's Walmart, the bookstore sells them. There are a couple of places right here in Farmville that you can purchase those if you forget when you get to campus. Just a word about network registration. The first time that you plug in your computer, or if you get a new computer and you plug that in, or you try to connect with those machines, you are going to be required to register that computer on the network. And what that means is you're going to associate the specific unique MAC address or identification number for that machine to your account. So that happens once a year. So you'll need to do that in the fall. And then unless you get a new machine, you won't need to do that again. We will have support available if you have questions or if you have any issues when you arrive with network registration. It really is a super easy process to go through. So again, lots of support if you have questions then. Internet access, again, we do have LancerNet wireless in addition to Chantel. So in your residence halls or your Longwood managed apartment, you're going to have Chantel services. But if you are on campus and you are in an academic building or in the library or in our student union, in Upchurch Student Union, then you are going to see, you're going to notice a network that's called LancerNet. And you would need to authenticate to that network. You're going to need to sign in to the LancerNet wireless. And to do that, you would use your LancerNet ID and your LancerNet password. So again, another use for those LancerNet credentials. And there are lots of places on campus that you can connect to LancerNet. No registration is required to access LancerNet wireless. You don't have to register, but you do have to authenticate with that LancerNet ID and password. Okay, I see the questions popping in on chat. I promise we'll get to those. Switching gears again, we're going to talk a little bit about the laptop initiative. We do have a laptop requirement. All students should bring a laptop computer to Longwood. Used to be a big deal. I've been doing this for about 23 years. And back when I first started this at orientation sessions, I would have, lots of questions and concerns and, oh man, we have to buy a laptop. Most students have had a laptop for some time now before they come to college, but we still do have some questions about this from time to time. So I wanted to touch on some of those. We do get the question often, what do I use? Am I to use a Windows machine? Should I bring a Windows machine, or can I bring a Mac if I prefer Mac? You absolutely can bring either. Our network will support either. Our technicians will support either. Our help desk will support either. You will want to. Some disciplines are highly recommended. I don't think they're requiring, but highly recommended Apple. So if you are a music or an art student, it is recommended that you use an Apple computer, and the labs and the machines available for student use in those buildings are going to be Apple. Again, it is not a requirement. It has not been a requirement in the past, but it is a strong recommendation because Apple is going to run those programs a little better than Windows. If you already have a Windows laptop, don't panic. There are Mac machines for use in those academic buildings if the student wants to use one of those. And also, almost all of the programs will now run on either. So it will run on Windows. It's just Mac might handle it just a little better. Okay, so you can bring a Mac, you can bring a Windows computer. Another question we get is, well, what kind of specifications do I need? What do I need? What kind of, what size hard drive and how much memory and what do I need to bring? So we have put together just this list of minimum recommended specifications. That's kind of a tongue twister. So this, if you take a look at these, if you're familiar at all with this kind of verbiage, you're going to realize right away, this is a pretty standard laptop. We are not looking for you to bring anything, you don't have to have anything too fancy. If you are graphic design or art, you may want to beef this up a little bit. Again, the department will have some recommendations for you if you are a student, an art student or a music student. So just keep that in mind, and you definitely want to check with your department before you make a purchase if you don't already have a laptop to bring. I'm not going to read those to you. I will make this presentation available to you after online. And also, I think that this entire recording will be available to you as well. So a couple of things I wanted to note. You do want to make sure that you bring all of the software and the documentation that comes with your laptop when you come to campus. So if you need to reload the operating system, if you get a virus or you have an issue where you need to reload that operating system, we don't have licensing for the operating systems for students. So you would need to bring those disks with you. We absolutely have assistants. We have technicians who can get that installed for you and help you back up data and so forth, but we do not have licensing for the operating system. So make sure you bring that with you when you come to campus. Quick word about printing. Printing is available in our academic computing labs. We have 8 of those located across campus, and that's the public labs. We also have some private labs for some very special classes like ArcGIS, and we have a language lab for the foreign languages. But we have those located across campus. Printing is available in those spaces at a rate of 9 cents per page. That's black and white printing. You can pay for your printing, or you must pay now for your printing via Lancer Cash. So it's on your card, it's on your ID card, the same as the meals for Lancer Cash. You also can certainly bring a printer if you would like. I will tell you that not a lot of students bring printers anymore. From an academic perspective, most of the faculty will have you submit electronically. So it's going to be rare that you are going to need to print your assignments again, unless you're graphic design or art. That might be a totally different ball game in terms of printing your work. So printing it's up to you if you bring one. We do have printing available in all of our academic computing labs, and we also have remote printing, so you could send a print job from your room and pick it up in a remote printing location across campus. Okay, last topic. I promise we're going to switch gears altogether and talk about information security. We have a very hardworking, I might say, information security department at Longwood. I can tell you when I started here 23 years ago, we had one gentleman in information security, and he wore many other hats, and security was just kind of one thing that he did. Currently, we have an information security office of 3 and looking for a 4th, I believe, soon. And it is a full-time job for all of those folks, and it is super important. If you keep up with these kinds of things on the news, you know that lots of bad things are happening in cyber world, identity theft and data breaches and those kinds of things. Longwood absolutely does not want to be the next headline, the next name on the news that X number of students or X number of staff data was stolen or breached. We want to make sure that your experience is good and that you don't have any major security incidents at Longwood. So for that reason, we have some security setting requirements. We do want to make sure that your firewall is turned on your computer at all times. That now they're on by default. It used to be something that you had to turn on, but now that's going to be on for you by default. We want to make sure you keep your operating system up to date. We want to make sure you keep your computer free of malware and viruses. And we want to make sure you have an administrative password set on your laptop. If that means nothing to you, if you're thinking, what did she just say? What does that mean? No worries. We do have, again, these technicians, these student technicians that are happy to sit down and work with you individually or in groups, your suite mates, your classmates, your friends. We can sit down with your laptops, take a look at them, make sure that they are up to speed and that they are as protected as they can be on Longwood's network and that your data is staying protected as well. Quick word about phishing, and I'm talking about fishing with a PH, not with a fishing rod. Not talking about fish in a lake here. We're talking about phishing in terms of email scams. So a phishing scam is facilitated via email, and it is going to be an email that is posing to be from someone that it's not. So it might say, hey, this is your banking institution, or this is PayPal, or this is Longwood's information technology department. We have definitely had some of those that say, it is urgent. It's usually a real urgent email. It's urgent that you click here and update your information. And that information may include your passwords to your protected accounts. It may include your account numbers to banking information. This is called phishing because it's just kind of a hacker or a bad guy out there throwing out a line to see who will bite. Okay. So what we ask you to do is to be paranoid. We want to make sure that you are always thinking when you look at your email coming in, okay, this may be real and it may be a scam. And if there's any question in your mind that it might be a scam, don't click on anything. Certainly don't answer or give up any information or answer questions. You can forward that to our information security department and you can call the help desk. You can talk to an SST. I can almost guarantee you if it's asking for you to give up your personal information, it is going to be a scam. But we're happy to look at it for you and to walk you through that. But please make sure that you are not giving up that information. That can result in data theft, theft of information about you, your personal information, and also if it's posing to be from a bank or something of that nature, unfortunately, it can be a financial loss as well. So please make sure you're aware of phishing. Just every email that comes in, be a little paranoid. We hate to say it that way, but that's really what it takes. You have to be questioning and wondering about every email that comes in. We do everything we can at Longwood to block these and to keep them out of your inbox, but it is impossible to completely keep them out of your inbox. So we want to make sure that you are vigilant and that you are keeping an eye out for this kind of scam. We talked about passwords. We talked a lot about passwords. Again, that is very private information. It is for your eyes only. I want to tell you just a really quick little story about two students at Longwood. This is a true story, happened many years back. And we had a boyfriend and girlfriend come in from high school sweethearts. They were going to spend 4 years together in bliss at Longwood and live happily ever after. So before the first day of classes, the young man decided that there was a lot of good looking fish in the Longwood Sea. And he broke up with his girlfriend. Not nice, right? So girlfriend got really mad at him. And then the first day of classes rolls around and the young man goes to his first class and he is not on the roster. Second class of the day, same thing, not on the roster. Third class, same thing. So he comes into the help desk and he's clearly, frustrated and upset. And he said, what is going on? I registered, I have my schedule, I know what I'm supposed to be in, but I'm not on any of the rosters for my classes. Our first question to him was, who has your password? he had shared passwords, his LancerNet password and ID with his girlfriend, and she had shared with him. They were going to, be together, and they thought they'd help each other keep up with that. So they shared that information. Young man broke up with her, and she was hurt and upset. So she promptly unregistered him from all of his classes. Bad news, bad news. Yes, that was very, very not nice of the young lady, but who was really at fault? It was him. You want to be careful. You want to make sure that you are not giving your passwords out. It is for your eyes only, not your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or your best friend. Make sure you're not posting it. I have seen this on a Post-it on your laptop or on the bulletin board in your room. You want to secure it. Yes, sometimes when it's a new password, especially, it's kind of hard to remember, and you want to make sure you keep up with that. Put it on a little card and secure it in your wallet just as you would a credit card. It's very important that your password stays private. Lastly, if you feel that you have been a victim of any kind of technology, of any type of computer scam, then you have some resources. You can certainly always come to us at the help desk. You can report any of that to our information security office at abuse@longwood.edu. Lots of resources for you, and we're going to make sure that your questions are answered and that your experience is the best that it can be while you're here at Longwood. All right, so here's some contact information. My name again is Kim Redford. This is my email at the bottom. We are the help desk. That's helpdesk@longwood.edu. You can ask questions. You can call us anytime during the business day, and we're happy to walk you through. We're happy to help you with passwords. We're happy to answer questions about security on your laptop, any and all of those things. You have support. We are not off for the summer, so we'll be here all summer long, Monday through Friday. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have questions or needs, or if you can't get into one of your systems and you need a password help or assistance. We're happy to help with all of those things over the summer. Okay, whew, that was a mouthful. So I am going to go to the chat now. We're going to, I think I saw Caroline was maybe answering a few questions, and I think maybe you were answering each other's questions, which was fantastic. I saw someone asking about a network cable, and someone answered that question correctly, and we're good to go on that. So let's see what we have here. Again, if you have a question right now, please pop it into the chat, and I'm happy to address those questions now. Okay. Does the live mail account expire once you graduate from college? That's a great question. At this time, the answer is no. So our students they keep the Longwood email account. I will tell you that there is some conversation around making a change for that. Not necessarily that it's going to go away, but it could change. In other words, instead of being Redford KC, I might be Redford KC alumni or alum at longwood.edu or something of that nature. It has not been determined. And at this moment in time, yes, that email account will stay with you unless and until another decision is made. We have tens of thousands of accounts, and it really can be kind of hard to manage, especially with phishing scams and that kind of thing. So there's lots of conversation, not just at Longwood, but universities all over the country that are talking about, is this a good idea? Is it something we can maintain? Do we want to break out the alumni and have them in a separate group so we can better manage that? Lots of discussion, but as of the moment, the answer is yes. Okay, here's one on my email. I got an email from a completely random person addressed to someone who definitely wasn't me and had nothing related to Longwood. Okay, so that was likely a phishing scam. So I got an email from a completely random person addressed to someone who wasn't me. It sounds like, so when an account gets phished, what happens often is that bad guy, so the bad actor, they call them, will go into that account and send out to everyone in their address book, everyone who's ever been on an email that they received. Sometimes it's someone that you don't know. Sometimes it's someone that you may have been copied on something long ago or something of that nature, and they have phished an account. Again, be paranoid. If you get an email from a completely random person and it's addressed to someone else, that's two big flags right there. I don't know this person, and the to line isn't even my address. This just doesn't smell right. It smells fishy, right? Delete it. Go ahead and delete it. And it's probably going to say, hey, click here to claim your prize and give us your personal information, or update your account by putting in your password right here. Those kinds of things. It's phishing, it's bad news. That just goes right back to that advice. Be paranoid. Just always be paranoid and always be on the lookout for a scam. Oh, here's a good one. Can I install my own Wi-Fi router to the wired connection? Okay, so the short answer to that is yes. In the residence halls and the Longwood managed apartments, it's not completely restricted. It is not recommended, and I'll tell you why. Wireless especially, we have wireless routers throughout all of the residence hall buildings and the Longwood managed apartment buildings. We have an architecture, a configuration that should cover everyone. If you plug in a Wi-Fi router in a specific space, then you could be throwing off the entire kind of architecture of how that wireless is supposed to work in the building. We have had instances where we have had to snip out those rogue, if you will, routers and go in and ask the student to please turn it off or to change the settings so it's not broadcasting. And we can certainly work with you on how to do that if that ends up being a problem. So kind of a complicated answer. No, yes, it's not restricted, but it can cause a problem. And if it does, then we will sniff it out and we'll come in and have a conversation about it. So I hope that's helpful. We can certainly talk more about that offline. If you'd like to call the help desk, we can answer that a little more specifically. All right, so here's the question about the RJ45 to RJ45. That is really, again, just the ends on that network cable. So the network is going to say network cable RJ45 to RJ45, and that just tells you what kind of ends you have there to plug into the network port, and that is what you need for our hardwired network is that RJ45. What about using VPNs? Does that create a problem? So a VPN is a virtual private network. Generally not, depends on how things are set up. I don't know, it looks like that was a very specific question from one young man. We are happy to talk with you about that if you want to give the help desk a call. I'm not going to say it's going to be blocked. It depends on how it's set up if it's problematic. So we can certainly talk about that. And there's the answer from a nice gentleman about the RJ45. Are there any laptop discounts that students should be aware of? There are some educational, so just some EDU discounts out on the Dell site. There are some on the Apple site, not anything specific to Longwood. Way back in the day, we used to have what we called the Longwood Dell configuration, and they were special pricing for Longwood students. That was a long time ago when laptops were around $2,000. So now we do not have a specific brand or a specific type even that you have to bring. We do have those minimum recommended specifications. You can bring in whatever you'd like. So that allows you to bring in whatever, find the best price you can find within those specifications and feel free to bring that in. Can we use external hard drives that are encrypted? Absolutely. You are welcome to use an external hard drive. I will tell you that with your live mail account, that Microsoft hosted email account, you do have some space, some cloud space and cloud storage for your data. If you use your cloud space, or if you use a jump drive, or if you use an external hard drive, whatever, make sure you use something. Make sure that your data is backed up. We have had one too many sad, teary-eyed student at the help desk with, all of my work for the entire semester was just saved to this now dead hard drive. So make sure, I can't stress it enough, back up your data, back up your research, back up your work, and make sure that you have a copy of it on something. So a hard drive is fine. As I'm sure if you know how to use an encrypted hard drive, I don't have to tell you about the dangers of that if you lose the encryption key, or you can have some issues with that. So you want to make sure you know how to manage that. And again, the SSTs can help with that if you have questions about that. Yeah, so Caroline has in the chat posted the recording. The recording for this webinar is housed at www.longwood.edu/new-student. Oh, wow. So this is a great question. Is the abuse at longwood.edu email just for phishing emails or any abuse, like physical abuse? Oh, wow. What a great question. Absolutely. Email only. So technology abuse only. If there is anything, Lord forbid, like physical abuse or anything of that nature, you need to absolutely report that to the police department as soon as possible, or your RA or your REC. There are definitely avenues for that kind of thing. The abuse at longwood.edu is simply technology abuse. So thank you for asking that. Yes, someone said never open attachments of phishing or possible scams. Absolutely. Be leery of attachments and links. And certainly any information, any website that's asking you to put in your personal information. We're never going to send you something that asks you to put in, tell me what all your passwords are and tell me what your account numbers are for your banking account and give me your social security number. We're never going to ask for those things. No legitimate institution is going to ask for those things electronically. Something that, you're not expecting an email that just pops up and asks you some very, very personal questions. You always want to be paranoid about those things. Can you access Longwood email on your phone? Absolutely. Is there a special Longwood app to access it on your phone? No. So we do have the configurations out on our website, our SSTs, our help desk. We can help students set that up on your phone, but on an Apple phone, you can just use the Mail app. And similar on the Android, you can use the Outlook app if you have that. And the Outlook app does come with your Office 365 free download that you get through your Longwood email account. So yes, you absolutely can access it on the phone. You can also forward it. We have a lot of students who choose to forward their Longwood email to their most used personal account. So if you have a Gmail account, that you check often, you can forward that Longwood email into Gmail. So you just have to go to one place and check your email. We do have that information and instructions on our website, and also certainly lots of options for help, either over the summer if you want to get it done before you get here, or certainly when you arrive. Okay, if there are any more questions, please go ahead and post them in the chat pretty quick. We've been in this for about 45 minutes, and I think that is going to about do us in time. Just had another one pop up that says, my child has a Chromebook. Is that going to work? Yes, we do have students that bring Chromebooks. I would say if you are an art or a graphic design, music student, there might be a concern. Please talk with the departments. The departments are going to be very specific in those areas as to what they recommend. So a Chromebook is going to work for most disciplines, and I do not know of any specific instances where it does not. But if you're an art or music major, please check on that. Do you see any laptops getting stolen? We haven't had a report of a stolen laptop in years, honestly. That doesn't mean that necessarily there wasn't some, but they didn't report it to us, and they didn't report it to campus police, because we coordinate with campus police if we get the report, and vice versa. So if they get the report of a stolen laptop, they report back to us, and that would come through my office, and I haven't seen one in years. I mean, I think everybody now, everybody has one, and that just doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. We had some of those in past when, again, a laptop was $2,000, and a little bit of that went on. But we have a pretty safe campus, and students use some precaution and make sure they take care of their stuff and keep it secure. So I really haven't seen that in years. All right, I think that about does it for time for us. If you have more questions, if you think of something later, you can go out to this presentation at that link that I gave you earlier. All of our contact information is there. You can email us at helpdesk@longwood.edu. You can call us at 434-395-HELP or 4357. We are happy to talk with you over the summer and answer any questions you may have. It's a great idea to get all of this get a hold of all of this before you arrive in August. So that's one less thing you have to worry about when you get here. So go ahead and start logging into the My Longwood portal and start taking a look at how to set up that email on your phone and get some of that stuff out of the way. There'll be a lot of fun stuff to do when you get here in August. You don't want to have to be worried with those things, and we can help you over the summer. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Listen, I really appreciate you joining us this evening, and we're excited to have you on campus, and welcome to Longwood. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.